Ooh, it's chilly out here today, boys. You gotta have that hoodie on, guys. Hoodies are available. Make sure you guys hit gooseperformance.com. Get your hoodie, send it, baby. We got the GP in the back, you guys already know. So make sure you cop your hoodie, boys. It is hoodie season, boys. Hey, tell your wife about this video, man. Send her the video, all right? Get the hoodie, get it in your stocking. Let's go. Chevelle, what are you doing, Chevelle, huh? What are you doing over here, girl? What you doing over here? Yeah, guys, believe it or not, that's actually my very first Chevelle I've ever owned, believe it or not. That girl right there, that is my very first Chevelle right there. I actually named her Chevelle because I knew I always wanted a Chevelle. That's a quick little story about my dog because she's almost 14, 15 years old, boys. And she's my very first Chevelle. And because I knew how bad I really love these Chevelles, and we named her Chevelle, and she's getting old, man, and I love her to death. But anyways, let's get back to the video. Guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Prep day today. We're gonna continue on with the prep for the swap. You guys can see we got this thing up in the air because we had to get all that sand and everything else cleared up. I think we're gonna start with, while I got it up in the air, we're gonna go ahead and start removing these old fuel lines, boys. So we got all these fuel lines that kind of run through the chassis and run through the frame here. So we're gonna just go ahead and actually probably cut those out of here, because these are what I think stainless steel maybe or something like that. So we got to undo a bolt there, undo another clamp here, and just kind of follow it through. You can kind of see what's going on here. Back here they kind of made their own thing. Get rid of that. So maybe we're going to try to cut those out real quick and pull those out, and then move our way up here. As far as the wiring on the firewall, we're not going to do too much with it quite yet because we got to pull the dash out, but we can start removing this AC box, all this old cabling, and even whatever that nitrous thing is up there. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just start cleaning up, boys. Let's get to it. Boys, you saw that fuel come out, right? This is exactly why I did not use, or not going to use, I should say, any kind of power tools, cutting wheel. I could have got the grinder out and start cutting these pipes up, boys, but these are fuel lines. We got to remember that. So what I am just going to use this little guy right here. If you guys ever seen one of these, you just put it on the pipe, whatever size it is, and you got this little nozzle right here, this little turn wheel, I should say, and you just turn it till it gets tight, and you just rotate, and it just starts cutting and kneading up the pipe, and you just keep tightening it up, so that way it'll cut the pipe. So it'll take it's a little time consuming, boys, but it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the pipe in certain areas so I can kind of maneuver it out of the chassis here. So you're just going to keep turning, see if we can get this pipe cut, see how long it'll take us to do one. See, boys, look, it's already leaking. Imagine if we were using a cutting wheel or something that creates sparks. That'd have been all bad. See, she's squirting, boys. All right, gonna remove this guy here. Should be able to like almost bend this out of the way. See, it's already cut through, just like that, boys, just like that. So just kind of create some like cuts in certain spots. Oh Lord, create some cuts in certain spots where you can kind of like maybe cut it here, so that way you can pull it out of the chassis one way versus the other. But that's all you got to do, boys. We're just going to keep cutting and getting these things pulled out of here real quick. Whoa there, long boy, what are you doing with that thing? You know how to use this thing? Oh Lord, you guys got to be careful, man. I can't handle this guy power tools, let me tell you, boys. Real quick, so we got the fuel lines out. Oh Lord, this boy about to, yeah, what you doing, bro? You're about to kill me. We got the fuel lines out, guys. A little bit of a challenge, but we got it done. Now, since we're underneath here, boys, for what I like to do is I like to take this wheel well out here, guys, because we got to get all the old AC stuff. You guys can see you can't really access those back bolts or anything like that without it off. Not to mention, we're going to be working on the firewall, so it'll be easy access for us as well. If you guys never taken one of these off, there's just a bunch of bolts throughout the entire thing. Not to mention up front, right underneath the bumper up there, and we got to pull the battery out as well on the back side. But we're almost got everything else out from underneath as well. So we're gonna move to the engine side, engine bay I should say, once we drop this thing. KO, you got this thing up?
Yeah. We just gotta pull the battery.
All right, let's go ahead and drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
All right, boys, we got the car back on the ground. We got the battery out. So this is what I was talking about here. This kind of battery slash holder here. Pretty rusty and crusty, boys. We're gonna end up probably powder coating this thing or sandblasting it at least and get it cleaned up. But so we can remove that inner tub. We got a couple more bolts that looks like we missed down here to get that out. Try to get all the power and cables out of the fender wells, boys, because we're gonna end up painting this. At least we are. If you guys don't plan on painting the fender wells, you guys shouldn't have to remove anything. But while we're here, we're gonna go ahead and just remove that AC box, remove the windshield wiper motor, all this jazz right here. Just remove as much as possible. When it comes to the wiring, guys, don't be scared to play with it and move it around. But this thing looks like it had an alarm at one point. We're gonna cut all that stuff out. We're also gonna end up taking this main connector off, guys. So it looks like it's usually these are just like a 10mm socket right here. You guys just undo the 10mm bolt and this should pop out, and then all your actual harness from your engine bay should be able to be removed. Hey, what were you saying? You got anxiety looking at these wires?
Yeah, you cutting wires and shit gives me anxiety.
It ain't that bad, dude. It ain't that bad. So guys, so check it out. Just like KO said, boy, this wiring stuff, it's as easier than it sounds, I guess you can say. But we got everything, I think, pretty much cleared out, and then the wiring is kind of the one last thing we're kind of going through. With the firewall, like I said, we're gonna smooth all this out, so we got to relocate a lot of this. And this is all factory wiring. Let's say you even had a G body. If you're getting rid of the factory air, you don't need any of this, because all this stuff ties in back to the dash. So you end up finding these wires again in the dash side. So if you really want to hang on to like these connectors to reference, you can. But me personally, I kind of know these cars and know what these wires are and the color codes and everything else like that. So not to mention, we'll kind of like eliminate all this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this. See if I can cut all 5 of these wires in here at once, just like that. So we'll cut this because we'll be able to pull this through the backside. So if you want to hold on to this, you can, just to reference up. But I'm gonna tell you right now, boys, we're not gonna use this anymore. So we'll push these through, and on the backside we'll find it, because the new vintage air kit, we're gonna be running vintage AC. You don't require that stuff. You are going to require like power, obviously ground, ignition, also the illuminate slash lighting for the interior. That actually sends light, I should say sends power to the control unit for the one that actually gets mounted to the dash. But now we just got to pull all these grommets out and push everything through. But we're going to end up having to go through the back side to get rid of the rest of the AC, the old AC stuff. But for the most part, guys, if you guys can see, we got the engine bay pretty much cleaned up now. We removed the actual light harness. I'm going to rework that. I'll show you guys how to rework all the new harness that'll be laid in here once we're done. But we're obviously gonna have to pressure wash everything. I want to get everything nice and neat, and then we're gonna do the firewall plate, guys. If you guys don't know about my firewall plate, check it out on the website. We'll do that, and then go in here, do some body and paint and all that other stuff. I don't think we'll have time today, guys, to rip out the dash. We're kind of running out of time, but you guys already know, man. You guys gotta hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell for notifications. You guys already know. Stay wrenching.